I'm your friendly neighborhood Web-Warrior Fanatic, and in today's video, we'll be going over my top 10 favorite heroes to play in the protection aspect in Marvel Champions. For each one of these heroes, I'll be giving an example deck list, how I like to play hero, and I will put in the description of this video the links to all the decks that I'll be talking about right here. If you guys are enjoying my Marvel Champions content, don't forget to like and to subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and you guys can keep to date with all my top 10 lists and tier list videos. So let's go ahead and just jump straight into it with number 10 on the list. We got Protection Iron Man here. This is a classic one. Iron Man, you guys all know how his hero ability works right here. You get +1 hand size for each tech upgrade you control, up to a max hand size of 7, but you only got 1 hand size as your base hand size in hero form, which is terrible. So he really wants to play these techs here. And for a long time, I wasn't the biggest fan of Protection Iron Man. I still liked him in just more to be able to flip down to Alter Ego, but I can't deny the synergy here with Protection with all these tech upgrades. These tech upgrades here, like you can have 3 cards with Energy Barrier, you can have other cards as well. But with the introduction of Energy Shield, which is a 0-cost tech upgrade, this really made Protection a no-brainer for Iron Man, and just like far beyond any other aspect for him, because it's a 0-cost upgrade that you can just play, attach to any character, attach to yourself, play another one attached to the villain, play another one attached to another player or to like an ally, and then you have 3 energy shields in play, giving you +3 hand size for 0 cost. So that's just crazy. And then the other thing with Protection is Ready for a Fight here. I think that this card is just insane, giving you, the best alter ego access, or not the best, because Confuse is still, probably better, but the most reliable one, right? Because Confuse does not always work. If the villain gains a way to not be able to be confused, if they gain Stalwart, or like if they're steady, Confused status cards may not be the best way to flip down, but Ready for a Fight will always allow you to flip down no matter what. So giving him that early access to his alter ego hand size of 6, and you can use your Futurist, and then you can flip up during the villain phase. Whenever they would scheme against you, they attack instead. When you're in hero form, you can flip back down again to Tony Stark form, allowing you to just be down in alter ego. So yeah, I mean, Tony Stark in Protection, I think everyone knows about this build. It's really good. And then I like the new cards here with Spider Bite, reduce the cost to play Spider Bite by 1 for each tech card you control. We're gonna have a lot of tech here anyway, so she's usually free to play, and we have 2 cards of repurpose here. Just a key staple card for Iron Man. So we don't really need to say too much about this. It is a staple deck in the game Marvel Champions. Protection Iron Man, great way to play a Protection. So let's move on to our number 9 hero that I like to play Protection. That's gonna be Wolverine here, and this is actually a custom deck request for one of my channel members, Julio. Huge shout out to Julio here. So this deck is pretty interesting. It's similar to what Come Get Me Bub, that card, what it wants to do, but we don't actually have that card in the deck, because this deck works a little bit differently. We want to get up to 24 hit points here with Wolverine, and this is with one of the new cards, Defensive Conditioning. So we just want to play this card just for the hit points. We're not really going to be defending with this deck here. So you get +3 hit points here. You get your +3 hit points with Endurance. You get another +4 hit points with your Adamantium Skeleton, and then we also have your Specialized Training to get the upgrade that gives you even more hit points. So with all of that, you go all the way up to 24 hit points, but without the symbiote suit. We don't want the symbiote suit here, because we don't need that hazard icon. But with 24 hit points on Logan here, I mean, you can really take advantage off of his hero ability, the healing factor, to heal 2 damage every single time the player phase begins. With a bunch of healing cards here with the What Doesn't Kill Me, so you always want to keep your hit points not at full, because the requirement to play this card, before the cost here, is a heal 2 damage from your hero. So make sure we're like around, anywhere from like 8 to like 15 health, and you can always play this to get it ready and heal more life. You got 3 cards of First Age, just getting tons of healing. We got the Night Nurse here for even more healing, and then Logan's got, of course, his regenerative healing for even more healing. So yeah, we're just really feeling like Wolverine here, taking so much damage, but being able to heal it all up, being super aggressive. And the most important thing with this deck is we want to keep Berserker Frenzy online at all times. This card is a force response. When you flip to Alter Ego, you have this card. When we're playing this deck, we want to be in hero form the entire game, because as a hero response, after Wolverine takes any amount of damage from any enemy attack, we draw a card. This is from the villain, this is from minions, so we want a bunch of minions so that we can just constantly take damage, draw cards. We're going to heal it all back up anyway. So yeah, that's the main gameplay of this deck, just feeling like Wolverine, taking so much damage, being super tanky, healing back up, and just being very aggressive with how we want to take damage and do damage back. Yeah, really fun build here that I love here for Wolverine. Let's go over our number 8 hero that I like to play in protection, and that's going to be Hawkeye here. So yeah, my favorite aspect for Hawkeye is actually green in protection, and it's kind of weird here. So Hawkeye, he, in my opinion, is the weakest hero in the game of Marvel Champions, but I have enjoyed playing him more lately, and it's because of protection, really. So he has 9 hit points, which is really bad. He has a Mockingbird here to help him like be more tanky, but she's very expensive, and he does not have good economy for playing non-air events, right? So it's pretty difficult to get Hawkeye to survive, with the 1 defense with the 9 hit points. All he's got is just stunning. So this build is kind of to get Hawkeye online to have him like not die. So we got the stun gun here, which I feel is pretty thematic to Hawkeye too, to have him have like his gadgets. It's a 2-cost upgrade, so pretty cheap. Comes in with 2 counters. As hero action, you exhaust it and remove 1 or 2 charge counters from it. And if you take off 1, you can stun a minion. If you take off 2, you can stun the villain. So pretty cool there for him to be able to control if he wants to stun a minion or the villain, because minions kill him, villains kill him as well. So it's very difficult to get Hawkeye going, but I really like this here with Hawkeye. He's also got the hidden base here to also allow him to get a tough status card whenever he is flipping down to alter ego. So you flip up with the tough, so when the villain attacks you, you can take a lot of damage and kind of block all that out. So I really like these new cards here with Hawkeye, but the deck also has 3 cups of Mansion and 2 cups of Helicare, because we just really need to get our economy going. So we have the power in all of us to help us pay for that more easily. But the main thing is really just to stun. So we have Iron Fist and Iceman also in protection, just allies that can help you stun minions or the villain. And yeah, we just really want to just stun, confuse lock with our confusing cards here, which is going to be our the Sonic Arrow to help us confuse, but then really stunning everything else so that we don't have to take a lot of damage to the face, because we want to just stay alive. And yeah, I've had a lot of fun with Hawkeye. This is my favorite build for him. Not the most synergistic thing, but really just helping him stay alive and not die. Let's hop over to my number 7 favorite deck, and that's going to be Tigra. Tigra is such a crazy, cool new hero because she has so much synergy in like every single aspect. But you guys know I gotta mention her in green because of Pin Down. That's like the main card for her. So you guys don't know how Tigra works. In her hero form on the hunt, as a response after player phase begins, you draw 1 card for each minion engaged with you to a max of 3. So you want to have those 3 minions engaged with you. And most minions have either 1 attack or 2 attacks. So they'll be constantly attacking you if they're engaged with you. But with the Pin Down here, 0 cost upgrade attached to a minion, and the attached minion gets -2 attack. So the best ultimate board that Tigra can get whenever she's trying to build out is to get 3 minions and to put a pin down on each one of them so that they all have 0 attack. And now they're attacking you every single turn doing 0 damage, and you're drawing that +3 cards every single time that a player phase begins. So your hands is a 5 plus a 3, you have 8 cards every single turn. That's enough to do anything that you want. That's just really good. So yeah, protection is the ultimate build out board for Tigra, but she has some other aspect builds that are more high tempo where you want to do different things. So like if you want to rush or something like that, she could definitely do that. But protection is her best build aspect because of these pin downs for the ultimate board. Of course, you got a bunch of other cool stuff here as well with the Ready for Fights, so that she's able to change the hero form. So you flip down to alter ego, drop to your hands as a 6. You flip up to hero form during the villain phase, and then you start that next player phase here in hero form, so you can still trigger on the hunt, which is very good there as well. The What Doesn't Kill Me to help her heal some damage and ready up, because you have a lot of minions engaged with you, always attacking you. We have Iceman here, again, like to freeze minions and stun them, because she has so many minions in play. So yeah, big fan of Tigra in protection. For a longest time, I wasn't sure if I liked her more in protection or aggression. I think right now I like aggression more, but it's so debatable here. One of the big debates in the Marvel Champions community. Let's hop over to my 6th favorite hero to play protection, and that is actually going to be Silk here. And this deck is pretty unique here, a little bit wonky here as well, because we got mostly basic cards with the power in all of us to help us pay for that. And the name of this deck is called Protecting Peter Parker, and the main thing we want to do is just protect good old Peter Parker Spider-Man right here. So this is one of the strongest allies in the game if you're playing a Web Warrior hero. As a response, after Spider-Man attacks or thwarts, you choose another Web Warrior character and then you can ready up that character. So if you keep it in play forever, he's giving Silk a ready every single turn, in addition to him thwarting or attacking for 2. And in protection, we got the energy shield here, where you could attach to an ally as well, because that's a character. And then when they were taking an amount of damage, spend X energy resource to prevent X damage. So basically, every single turn, you have Peter activate. And then when he would take a consequential damage, you spend energy to prevent that. And yeah, you just keep it in play endlessly, which is really good. Of course, we got the team up card for them, which is one of the strongest team up cards too. As an RT interrupt, when a villain enemy would scheme, you can cancel activation. So no matter if they're star or whatever, you cancel it. But you also get confused on top of that. Just to cancel is already worth this 2 costs here, but to get confused on top of that, if they aren't star or steady, then you get 2 blocked out schemes with this card here. Really good because we have Peter in play the entire game. So yeah, we got the protection Web Warrior with Scar Spider, which can also help take damage for Peter Parker instead, but just your generic Web Warrior deck here with all the basic package for Web Warriors. But we also got a little bit of protection with the Ready for Fight, Energy Shield, Scarred Spider, but just main goal, keep Peter Parker alive, and he's going to really help Silk pop off. Let's go on to our number 5 favorite hero to play in protection. That's going to be, yep, it's Thor again, guys. Thor has so many synergies in all the aspects. It's really hard to not pick Thor because of all these new cards that synergize really well with him. So this is a little bit of a different deck with a bunch of new cards here. It's called Stronger Together Thor. Like Strong Together, because that's the main card that we have here in the deck, or one of the main cards. Basically, when a character other than your hero would take any amount of damage, if that character shares a trait with the hero, reduce that damage by your defense. So basically, we want to have a bunch of Avenger or aerial characters here, so whenever they activate, Thor can gain the aerial trait with Mjolnir. So this deck here, we actually want to play Mjolnir as soon as possible, so we have the aerial trait to unlock the aerial allies like Vivian and Starhawk to not take console damage because they have the aerial trait, and all the other ones are Avengers, so they also won't take console damage if we can play a Stronger Together here. So this deck is pretty unique from how I normally like to play Thor. I love building out with Thor because of the God of Thunders here. He's got 2 resource generators, and if you get a Helicarrier, Quinn Carrot Mansion, he's like one of the richest heroes in the game with all that, and with all the card draw from getting minions. But this is actually a tempo build here, so we're going very, very quick. We're almost rushing the villain down, not necessarily like rushing them, because we do still want to take care of like minions, side schemes, all that stuff, but we want to be consistently doing damage at least like once every 2 rounds at least. So this deck plays very, very short games, like 20 minutes to like 30-minute games, because we're constantly pushing damage. We're not really focusing that much on building out, and we're doing that by just drawing a bunch of cards by summoning minions through Thor with his hero ability have at the each time you engage minion, you draw 2 cards. So we got cards like Come Get Me buff to just discard from the counter until you get a minion, put it in play, engage with you. We heal because we're taking a lot of damage to the face. We get a tough to block out future damage, and then we get to draw some cards with that minion as well. So hopefully we can play a bunch of stuff, do a bunch of damage, and just really push the villain attack. And I really like the Come Get Me bub and taunt combo here, of course, because after you have that tough, you can play this so the villain will attack you. The tough will soak all the damage, and you can draw 3 more cards on top of that, plus the card draw from the Come Get Me bub. So hopefully those 5 cards and the 3 healing you got can outweigh the amount of resources that you need to take out that minion, and hopefully we can do other stuff as well, like do damage to the villain too. So just a really quick high tempo build here that I have here, and I have a showcase against expert enchanters here, but definitely one of my most fun games with Thor, and very unique, just really pushing that tempo and not really trying to build out like a crazy long board with Thor, because he does have trouble closing out games with a fully built out board. I've talked about this all the time, but Hammer Throw, one of the worst close-out cards in the game. It's decent for tempo because you're just playing, 3 for 8 damage. But if you're playing like 2 Hammer Throws a turn, it's really bad because you have to return Mjolnir back to your hand, play the Mjolnir back down, and then do another Hammer Throw, which is just so many resources. So yeah, tempo kind of works out with the Hammer Throws there. So a really fun build I highly recommend with Thor. Let's go over to my number 4 favorite hero to play in protection. That's actually Colossus here. And this is a very different build here as well. So it's perfect alter ego defense. So the main card with this deck is going to be Ready for Fight. Ready for Fight is the most similar to Armor Up here. And I think Armor Up's one of my favorite cards in the game. It's super, super cool. It's 0 cost event. Alter Ego Interrupt. When a villain activates, you change hero form. So when you're in Alter Ego, when the villain's going to scheme against you, you can play this, flip up to hero form, and the scheme becomes an attack because now you're in hero form. So when the villain's activated, instead of scheming against you for that step 2 of the activation phase, they now attack you instead, which is a great way to have the villain not scheme. Because Colossus, the way I like to play him is he only has a hand size of 4 in hero form, but it does have the hand size of 6 in Alter Ego. So I'm trying to end every single turn in Alter Ego. That's a go. Alter Ego every single turn right here. And we only have 2 copies of the Armor Up, so we may not be able to always do that. But if we add in 2 more copies of Ready for Fight, now we are always end the turn in Alter Ego. And with this deck, I'm usually able to play the Armor Up anyways, because Colossus can recur it with this Peter's Studio card right here. But we always have a regular fight down on the table just in case we don't draw the Armor Up. So if we're just banking on like maybe I'll draw it, maybe I won't, whenever I draw it to my hand size, when our player phase ends, it doesn't matter. I have the ready fight on the table no matter what to prevent that scheme. So I can also flip the hero form, and Colossus loves flipping up the hero form because Steel Skin response when you change the hero form, give Colossus a tough, which will fully block out the villain's attack damage. Now that's the main part of the deck, but we made it a little bit more unique here because this is another custom deck build request from my channel member Sean, and he requested that I make a perfect defense deck with Colossus, and I wasn't sure how it was going to work because the thing with Colossus is that whenever he doesn't need to defend because he has the tough status cards, right? So, it kind of wastes, if you have the exhaust to defend with him, it's kind of a waste of that because you have a tough anyway, so you will not take a damage. So I wasn't sure how that would work, but after I actually built the deck and played it, I loved it so much fun. So we really want to use Powerful Punch here. It's a 2-cost event. When an enemy initially attacks, you deal 4 damage to them, but it has a defense word there, so it counts as you attacking and defending. So whenever you play this card, you attack the villain, for example, whenever they attack, and you are also considered to have defended because it has a defense word right there. So you don't have to exhaust to defend, but your tough will fully block out all that damage there because you get a tough status card when you're flipping up the hero form anyways with the Armored Up and the Ready for Fights. So when you play that Powerful Punch, you do damage, and then you proc your perfect defense engine because you did not take any damage with your tough status card, and you did officially defend. So that's a way to trigger that, and you can trigger out all these cards here with like Hard to Ignore. After your hero defense against attack takes no damage, exhaust is removed that from the main scheme. Trigger your Unflammable. After you defend against attack, take no damage, exhaust it, draw a card. So we get all these effects right here from that. And yeah, we also do 4 damage here to the villain. And the other card that we have to proc defending is Defiance here. So 0 cost event when a boost card enemy attacking you turn face up, this card instead, that's just to get rid of a nasty boost effect, which will still trigger on you even with your tough status card. So you just discard the boost, don't need to see what it is, and then it has a defense word there, so when you play this card, it is considered defending. Jocasta helps us grab those cards under her, so you could play that on demand. And yeah, just a fun way for Colossus. And at worst, we can also play Indominos to have them on a table so that we can actually exhaust to defend. We don't have defense events and want to still trigger the perfect defense engine, because then after your hero defense, we discard the Indomino and we can ready back up so that Colossus can thwart and attack during the player phase, right? And this really just helps Colossus do a lot more thwarting with the hard to ignore here to allow him to always remove threat from the main scheme by triggering that perfect defense engine. And it's a more of a combo deck and requires more setting up, but it's really fun to get those 2 pieces, the perfect defense with the tough for Colossus. Just feels like a very, very fun puzzle, and I think it works really well. So definitely one of my favorite heroes and decks to play in protection. Let's go to my number 3 favorite hero to play in protection. That's going to be X23. This deck is called Ready Infinity. So this deck right here, you guys know that whenever I'm playing X23, I do not like Voltron Honey Badger and just keeping her in play because honestly it just feels like unreliable because of obligation. If that ever comes out, it'll just snatch Honey Badger away from me and mess up my entire game plan. I don't want a deck that revolves around that for that reason. So this deck here, forget about Honey Badger, it's all about X23. We are feeling like X23. We're gonna take a lot of damage, we're gonna ready up a lot and just attack, be agile, and just really feeling like X23 and not feeling like, Honey Badger is like the starter show. So with this deck here, we got What Doesn't Kill Me, 3 ways to ready up. We got 3 Repurpose here, even more ways to ready up. And then we have Energy Barriers to help us block damage. But the main thing with this card is to guarantee that damage that we take during the villain phase when we're defending is only 1. If you guys don't know how X23 works, Her living weapon response in hero form is after she takes any amount of damage, you can ready her back up, but it's limited to once per phase. So we always do this, of course, during the player phase because we can take damage on demand with our X23's claws, which can just have her take some damage so she can ready up. But we want to also do this during the villain phase, so we want to defend for 2. Some villains have 2 attack or less, and when they get their boost card, they may not do enough damage. So sometimes we don't want to defend. But if you're playing expert mode, most villains will usually do at least 3 damage. And that's the perfect range, right? Because we want to defend for 2. They hit us for 3. We only take 1 damage, but then we can ready back up. That is such good value extra because now we don't have to chump block with ally. The ally can still activate, do whatever else, and we're only taking 1 damage. And readying back up, we don't have to even be exhausted with that. So that's the main gameplay with this deck. So when we have these energy barriers here, when you would take any amount of damage, removing a counter to prevent one of it and deal damage to enemies. So that way we're able to, if the villain does like 5 damage, right, we can use 2 energy barriers to take off 2 of the damage. So it's only doing 3, and then we defend for 2, so we still take 1, and then we can ready back up, ping 2 damage with the energy barriers back to the villain, like knock off some toughs off the minions too if we want, or like whatever, and then we can still activate during the player phase and ready back up again. So that's the main gameplay of with this deck here. We do want to build out our defense stat a little bit just in case that villain attack is higher, because we really want to defend every single turn and just make sure that we're taking 1 damage. So that's the main gameplay here. Take 1 damage, heal a lot, ready up a lot, and just hit for a bunch back on the villain, readying up infinitely. Yeah, X23 here. For my second favorite deck in protection, that's going to be Nightcrawler. You guys have probably seen me talk about this deck a lot. It's called No Allies, No Problem. We have no allies in the deck other than Day Tripper. We're required to put her in, but you don't even need to play her because Nightcrawler, I think, is one of the best heroes to play without any allies, because he can actually manage the board state and do all this stuff by himself with his Thor events, with his attack events, and all that stuff. And he's got a lot of retaliate as well through his deck. So we have no allies. So the main thing we want to do is get the perfect defense engine set up, and that's going to be with the Unflappable and with the hard to ignore. Just like with Colossus, these cards proc if you can defend and take no damage. Nightcrawler, he's got a base defense stat already of 3, which is very good. And then you can also give him the armor vest, 1 more for 4 defense. You can clear out the specialized training upgrade to get the defense specialist. That's 5 defense. And he's also got his where is the card here? Colossus to get another +1 defense. So he's going up to 6 defense here. But we also have new cards in protection with the defense conditioning, which I definitely would add to his deck. So I have this here in the description as an update to put that defense specialist, or to put the defensive conditioning in the deck to get an additional defense for Nightcrawler. And the starting card too, we can add that as well to get even more defense. So Nightcrawler's defense goes insane right here. And then with that super high defense, we can usually defend. And we have his BAMs here. So where's the BAMs? Where if you attach this card to an enemy, when the attached enemy attacks, you can discard a card, and Nightcrawler is defending without exhausting, which is him using that basic defense stat of like potentially 8. So yeah, just crazy for Nightcrawler to defend for such a high number. Many times, you know, he can put it on the villain, put it on minions, and if they all attack and they attack again, he can still actually just use his basic exhaust to defend again. So yeah, Nightcrawler, really fun to defend a lot with him. Energy Bears also paying damage off, and he's got good Thoring with his Thor stat up too, but also got the hard to ignore to remove additional threats. So the deck is pretty simple, not much crazy things. It's just running that perfect defense engine with Nightcrawler feels really good because of those bans, so he can defend multiple times in a phase, and because he just has a naturally high defense in kit going up to 4 defense already. So yeah, crazy fun build I love doing with Nightcrawler. Definitely my favorite way to play this hero. Finally, my number 1 favorite hero that I love playing in protection is gotta be Peter Parker Spider-Man. Hey, you guys know I love Spider-Man, and this deck right here, I mean, it's one of my favorite decks all time. And I think, you know, protection fits really well with Spider-Man thematically, because, you know, he's taking a lot of damage and then he can like heal back up and get back into fights. But for the longest time, I preferred him in Justice because of that R2 access. This all changed with Ready for Fight. This card is a game changer because it allows you to flip down to Alter Ego, and although, you know, it blocks out the activation entirely, like we talked about before, it's not the most reliable thing for stalwart, steady villains like Magneto with his helmet, which prevents him from being confused, right? So Ready for Fight works through anything. And for Spider-Man, Ready for Fight is even better because so you can flip down to Alter Ego. You have your hand size of 6 there in Alter Ego. You use Scientist Generate Mental Resource. You can use Anime Heal, do all the stuff you want to do in Alter Ego, right? Then during the villain phase, whenever they would scheme, you discard the Ready for Fight. You change up to hero form. You already got your 6 cards in hand. But now when you're in hero form and the villain's attacking you, trigger Spider Sense, you draw another card. So now you got 7 cards in hand. You can take damage straight to the face. You don't need to add to block or anything like that. You don't even need to defend. If you have a backflip, then you can still play, and prevent all the damage. But basically, you just flip down again, play another Ready for Fight, and Aunt May can just easily heal you back up. So yeah, for me, Peter Parker is so fun when you're in Alter Ego a lot, constantly flipping the duality of Alter Ego and hero form. That's what makes playing Spider-Man so fun for me. And I think Protection is actually now the best way to do that, even better than Justice because of a card like Ready for Fight. And with this deck, I actually include the Symbiote Suit. It's not often that I put Symbiote Suit in an actual deck list, but it works so well here. And even with the Symbiote Suit and playing it, this deck was able to take down Expert Venom Goblin. So yeah, you get +1 to all your basic powers and plus the hit points, but there's going to be that hazard icon. There's still the Mag with Spider-Man because now you got 3 attack and 2 thwart. So you use the what doesn't kill me to ready back up, heal more damage. Aunt May is already healing you as well. Of course, when you're down in Alter Ego. So flipping a lot, healing a lot, doing a lot of impact. Just, yeah, crazy fun protection build here with Spider-Man. Definitely my favorite way to play him with that mass healing. How much healing do we get here? We have Dark Sinclair here as well. So we stacked it, I think with one flip, it's like 7. Because Aunt May is healing us for 4. Dark Sinclair is healing us for 3, but you have Symbiote Suit out, she heals you for 4 because your recovery stat is now 4. So you're healing 8 there when you flip down. If you start the next turn down Alter Ego, you can use them both again, heal another 8. So you're healing 16 damage there through one flip down, which is crazy. If you use a Ready for Fight, you can only use their healing once, right? So you can still heal 8, which is still insane. Like, it's going to be more than where the villain's hitting most of the time, except for Expert Ronin, but everyone else is not going to be able to hit that much. And yeah, these 2 games right here were 2 of the easiest games I played against Expert Ronin and Expert Venom Goblin, just entirely controlling the entire board the entire time because of the Ready for Fights, just allowing us to take damage and not allowing the villain to scheme. So yeah, we got some electro cost in here as well to keep these backflips so that we can recur them more. Just super duper defensive, but able to take a lot of damage and recover all of that back up, feeling the most like Spider-Man, because Spider-Man, he always gets back up after he takes a lot of damage, and he always takes a lot of damage as well. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite decks in all Marvel Champions, and a deck that I love to play in Protection for Peter Parker Spider-Man. And that's going to round out my top 10 favorite heroes to play in Protection. Let me know down in comments, as always, which heroes that you agree the most with, and let me know which heroes that I missed out in Protection. Protection has so many different synergies, so there's a lot of heroes that I really wanted to include in this list, but I couldn't. Of course, you guys know. Let me know down in the comments all of those different heroes that I missed, because there's so many fun heroes that have great synergy in Protection. I think that this is like probably the most fleshed out aspect, and you can argue so many heroes just work really well synergistically, seamlessly, mechanic wise, even theme wise in this green aspect. So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.